no one designs a canoe out of concrete. So we're dealing with non-conventional shapes, and no one's ever really done this before. So when we have to take something we've learned in class and the things that we've done in work and apply it to something like this, it really requires you to think outside the box. And not only was the design part really key, it was the whole leadership role. And in the structural office, we're basically told what to do, and we're the lackeys there. And even in class, it's a very step-by-step. They're feeding you how to do things.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Yishon.
And we're the leads for the concrete mix design for the concrete canoe and concrete toboggan team. Now, when we're talking about mix design for concrete canoe, it's very different from the toboggan. First of all, we need to design a mix that is lighter than water. It is literally less dense than water. And for the toboggan, we need to take the specifications from the design team and then make sure that it's structurally sound for our skis.
Every year, our concrete toboggan team competes at the Great Northern Concrete Toboggan Race. The competition involves designing and constructing a 5-man toboggan to race down a ski hill. Each toboggan must have a steering and braking system, a roll cage, and it must be under 300 pounds. It's the oldest engineering competition in Canada, with the 41st GNCTR being held this year in Kelowna. And Waterloo's experienced a lot of success over the past, including 5 victories in the last 20 years. Waterloo's also set many records in this time, including the top speed record at 75 kilometers an hour.
As a mechanical and a part of the concrete toboggan team, we are basically in charge of designing the brakes and the steering. So you may ask, why is this so important? We're the only ones stopping the 300-pound toboggan from running into a wall of tires at about 75 kilometers an hour, or maybe slower depending on your toboggan. We also do the steering as part of the team. There's 2 parts of the competition. One, you have to get down the hill, so you have to keep it straight. And if you do that, you have to do a slalom, so you have to go in between different obstacles. So that obviously steering would be important for that. Working as a mechanical with a bunch of civils is great because it allows you to meet people from other faculties, which you don't always get to do in Waterloo engineering, and B, you also get to actually design and build something outside of the classroom, which is a completely different environment than sitting there memorizing equations or spitting things back out onto a piece of test paper.
It's an engineering tradition that dates back for over 40 years for both competitions. And it's also a great way for undergraduate students to kind of get an exposure to engineering and kind of the practical side of working on a project. So Waterloo's Concrete Canoe team was founded by myself and a few other members back in the summer of 2013. So we competed for the first time in 2014 at the Canadian National Concrete Canoe Competition, or CNCCC.
Going to the competition is a really great bonding experience. Being part of a team is really valuable. You get to develop a lot of leadership skills, and you get to learn a lot about planning different things and kind of putting together an event.
Both of our roles in terms of the canoe was hull design. We worked with RISA 3D, which is a structural modeling program, taking finite element analysis into consideration, allowing us to change thickness and dimensions of the canoe fairly easily, just using some basic stuff. But at the same time, this was a very new kind of idea behind what structural modeling can accomplish. So it gave us like a whole new method and a whole new way of doing these kind of things. Like, it just gave us this opportunity to expand our knowledge of what's actually even capable in terms of structural modeling.
My role involves structural design, mix design, construction coordination, and team management. This design competition really stretches us beyond what we are exposed to in class, and allows us to address issues that we wouldn't see otherwise. Some of the issues we address are working with lightweight concrete and aggregates, as well as fiber reinforcing materials. And these present some very interesting ideas and problems that we wouldn't address in our regular coursework or in a work term report.
It's really neat to be involved with this kind of project because you get to see the start from the design phase to the construction, putting all your man hours and all your effort into it, all the way to the event where you bring your product, be it the toboggan or the canoe, to the various locations, and you actually get to race it, and you see all these engineering students all hyped up, all energetic, and it's just such a great event to be a part of.
One of the best parts about building the concrete canoe was that we actually got to race against other universities. We went to Quebec and Sherbrooke, and we raced 5 different times against 11 different universities, and it was our first time, but we succeeded. We did pretty well, and we were proud of that.
It's just the feeling of watching your product float in the water and actually get past the finish line is so exhilarating. It brings the whole team together. It's just a great team building environment for engineers to meet other engineers across the two provinces, and it's a great competition to participate.
So my 4 years in the concrete toboggan and then concrete canoe team has been some of the best experiences I've had in undergrad. I think the best part for me about joining a team like this is that you get to work as part of a project team. And as you kind of work your way up from just helping the captains of that year on the toboggan, and then kind of you basically get to work your way towards being a captain or leading the team. And that brings a whole bunch of challenges towards it. You get to do scheduling, you get to lead the team towards goals and kind of rally the team around those goals. And then the success that you actually feel at the end of the competition from pulling it off, that's so worth it.
I just want to take a moment to thank the sponsors for our teams. Without their help, it would not be possible to compete in these competitions.
My favorite day, though, of this whole thing, though,
was testing day.
Testing day.
Testing
Our
day.
first testing day when we threw the canoe in the water. We had to fully submerge it, and everyone's hearts were pretty much stopping the whole time.
Our hearts were stopping.
It
'cause that
didn't come
is
back up for a
us.
couple seconds. Entirely scared. Not super happy that I thought it was just going to be on the bottom of the lake for a little while. But then it popped back up, and I don't think anyone was being quiet at that point in time. Everyone was just cheering their heads off. I was just ecstatic. I jumped in the water at that point a little bit. I was just really, really happy with what we had just done. It was crazy. It was a good time.